Alright guys, so now that we know how to write our own custom modules and we're a little bit more familiar with them, what I want to do now is I want to start talking to you about core modules. Now these modules are a little bit different because we don't write them ourselves. These core modules are the modules that are already built in to Node.js. So of course, Node already comes with a bunch of functionality that you're going to be using a lot, and well, let's just go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to say that there are a ton of core modules. If I just take a couple tutorials and try to explain them all, then it's going to be like 8 days long. So instead of just going through all of the core modules one by one, I'm going to be explaining them to you as we need them in future programs. But for right now, I'll show you guys like one or two just to, just to demonstrate them. And by the way, the common practice is this. Well, let me just go ahead and show you guys a quick one. FS, this is the file system module. Now, the first thing I want to point out is, again, whenever you're making your own custom modules, you include the path dot forward slash. Whenever you're using core modules, do not include the path at all, just the name of the module. That way, Node is aware of the fact that, you know what, this is a core module, not one that you made yourself, and it can find it a lot faster. The other thing you notice, and you probably noticed before, it's common practice to name the object or the variable the same as the module, and this just clears up any confusion. So again, what this is, real quick example, this is the file system module, and it just allows you to pretty much read and write files and also delete them. So let's say that we want to create a new text file. You can call fs write file sync, and as you saw, it took 3 parameters: path, which is pretty much the name of the file. So I'll just create one real quick and name like a text file named corn. The data is of course what text do you want inside the file. So I just put like corn is good, corn is life, and we also have an optional third parameter, but we don't really need it. So again, whenever I run this, what it's going to do, and actually before I do that, look in here. So it's going to create a corn text document in the same directory. So right now I only have one file in here, app.js. Gonna run this, finished, and check it out. We now have another one. If we double click it, we can see corn is good, corn is life. So that's what that does. And of course, one other bit of code I'll show you guys real quick is how to read files. So fs read file sync, and you might expect we'll just read that file that we just created. So what this does is it pretty much reads it in, and if we want to convert it to a string, then we just call toString, and since we're logging it out, it will display in the little terminal. So let me run this. The file is created, and then it reads it and logs it out. So again, that's just a quick little demo of what a core module is. Again, we didn't write any of the code to write or read files. This is all built in Node.js for us. So let me delete this, and also let me delete this corn crap. Alright, now just to show you guys one more, I'll show you guys the path module equals require path. So the path module is really good whenever you want to work with file paths. So let me just go ahead and write 2 quick file paths. I'll put like website home, and we'll say that this is some file on our desktop in the directory called Bucky, and I'm gonna add a double slash here. And as you can see, that's obviously not something that you want, and I'm going to show you guys how we can fix that using the path module. But I'll just say like the new Boston slash index.html. We'll say that it's like a website or something. Let me add one more. Like website about, and this one will be, I don't know, just like about.html with a single file. Alright. So what the path module is, like I said, is it's really good whenever you want to work with paths, because one thing that it does is it normalizes your slashes. In other words, if you guys ever notice, different file paths on different operating systems, they either use a backslash or a forward slash, and what path module can do is it can actually normalize it depending on your operating system. So if you put like console.log and you just put like, I don't know, path normalize, what you can do here is you can just throw in a path and check out what it does. So again, actually, as you can see right here, since I'm on Windows, the slashes are backslashes. So anytime you have a path, as you can see, I wrote a forward slash right there, it would convert them all into backslashes. And another thing that it does is this. You see, yeah, we were using the right one. Alright, you see how after Bucky, I accidentally put 2 forward slashes? Well, it knows, you know what, that's obviously not what you wanted. That was probably a typo, so it converts it to 1. So you're going to use this a lot whenever you're working with web servers, and I'll show you guys how to create an HTTP server and a file server in the upcoming tutorials. But for now, I just wanted to do show you guys, and I'll show you guys a couple other cool things around here. So let me just log 3 different things out real quick. All right. So another cool thing that you're going to want to use is this path.dir name. All right, website about, and might as well just write them all real quick. So path.base name, website about, and path.extension name, website about. All right. So you see, whenever you have a file path, it's kind of broken up into a couple different pieces. You have the main path, the main location of it. You also have the file itself, which is pretty much the core file, just this, and every single file on your computer has an extension. Is it a text file? Is it an HTML file? Is it a JPEG? Whatever. So using these functions on the path module, what we can do is we can actually rip out the pieces of information that we need. So again, dir name, as you can see, it pretty much gives you the name of the directory or the path without the file portion of it. Base name, what this does is it just looks at the base, or in other words the file name, and the extension, it just looks what type of file it is, in other words the file extension. So again, those are 3 other cool things that we're going to be using a lot. So there you go, that's pretty much how you work with core modules, pretty much modules that are already built in to Node. And since I have some extra time, what I want to do is this. I'm going to show you guys like 3 other quick things. These really don't have anything to do with core modules directly, but like I said, in the next tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys how to create like a simple HTTP server and file server. So I just want to explain these because I'm going to be using them in the future. So before we had a function called set timeout, and we already know what that did. It pretty much scheduled a little bit of code or a callback method to run after a certain period of time. Well, we also have this thing called set interval, and it's kind of similar actually. What we can do in here is we can have a bit of code to run. Actually, let me show you guys. Alright, so just like before, we can have some function in here, and it's just gonna like log out the word beef, and we can have, make sure it's in the right place, and we can have this run like every 2 seconds. So you may be looking at this and you're like, alright, is this like the exact same method as set timeout? Because it looks really similar. Well, the difference between set interval and set timeout is set timeout runs once after the period of time. Set interval runs repeatedly. So every 2 seconds, any code that's in the callback is going to be called. So every 2 seconds, as you can see, beef is being called. So again, that's just one little quick thing that I wanted to mention. And before I let you guys go, I want to explain this. So actually, let me just log this out. Let me log out 2 different things. Alright. So another little bit of code that we're going to be working with a lot is dir name and also file name. Now, this is kind of similar to what I was showing you with a path module. But essentially what this is going to do is it's going to give you the directory name, in other words the full path, and also the file name, which is the full path plus the file plus the extension of whatever file is currently calling this code. So again, since it's app.js, it's giving us this for app.js. And I know that these are kind of random things that I'm teaching you guys, but first of all, I didn't want to like spend a tutorial teaching you guys like 2 lines of code. And also, like I said, they're going to come in handy in the next couple tutorials, so you guys will thank me then. So anyways, there you go. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.